Greetings and welcome to an impromptu edition of Basketball Rules Expert here on a beautiful Sunday morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Let me do some stuff here. Clean that video thing up. Excellent. We are in the house on a Sunday morning. Hoping our Niners do well today and the Warriors, of course, tonight. So here's the deal. I am required to complete study guide questions. Here in California, there is something called the CBOA, which handles sort of the training and testing for the state. Some associations utilize that. Some associations just utilize an NFHS test. But a couple of the associations I work for require the completion of this. Boy, this shirt looks terrible. Let me do this. Man, that looks awful. Require us to complete these study guide questions. Now, another factor is one association I know, East Bay, does multiple sessions where they go over study guide questions. I'm not a big fan of meetings. I'm not a big fan of the necessity of meetings, etc. Maybe this video will help some officials as they go through study guide questions. Now, so there's 215 study guide questions. You have to pass a test. The test pulls questions, 100 questions from the study guide questions, puts them into a test format. You have to pass that test. So this is not the actual test, but it is includes the questions from which the test is taken. And all right, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here, and that's pretty much where I'm going to live. Let's do this. I don't have to go preview mode. I can do it on the fly. Okay. Yeah, how about that? So I do not expect anybody to be on this live stream. You know, this is not for the bulk of the country, but I have to take the test. So this is also, I think, what a lot of people do when they live stream is they just say, I'm going to, it's sort of an office hours scenario where I'm going to do this thing. I might as well do it live. Does that mean that people have to stick around and watch the live stream? No, it does not. And I'll be here for a while cranking this stuff out. And yeah, good times. Well, it's good to see Jason Hayes is in the house. Boy, that's small. Let's do this. And Ray Allen knows what time it is. It's time for the Warriors. Man, I can make that much bigger. All right, so I have to scroll it down, change the width. Let's try that. There we go. Hey, Ray. No, Ray, I will not be there for that study guide session. This is going to be available to people so they don't have to attend that study guide session. Sessions, too many sessions. Too many sessions. Yeah, so NFHS test, and we've, and that's something different. Right, so we're going to look at study guide questions here in California and effectively try to do it as smoothly as possible. And one of the things we'll identify is that not all study guide, not all questions, not all test questions are created equal. There can be some really disappointing presentations of questions, and there's also minutia, right? So one of the factors that we face, hold on, I'm doing some of this stuff on the fly. So here at Basketball Rules Expert, obviously we're focused on taking the rules with us onto the court. Something happens in our game. We need to know how to adjudicate plays properly. That's critical, right? One of the ways that associations and governing bodies ensure that the officials will be able to do that is the creation of testing, right? We create a test, and then we can see if the official will be able to execute on the court. It's an attempt to make that judgment. It's not necessarily a one-to-one thing. Somebody could pass a test, but on the court, not pass the ultimate test, which is adjudicating the play properly on the court. Now, also, what we have to recognize with test taking is not everybody's brain is good at test taking, right? You explain the scenario. Here's what happened on the play. I'm going to do this. Let me do this. Go there. Turn that off. That's not what I want either. Okay. So, not everybody's brain works the same way. You present words, questions, test questions in word format. You show them the play and what happened, or explain the play and what happened. Oh, I know the answer to that. That's obvious. This is what we do. This is why, etc. I know the rule, right? But when you present it to me as a test question, and also test questions are sometimes designed to deceive. They're designed a little subterfuge, like try to get a little gotcha on the people taking the test. So these are all the factors that we keep in mind when we look at test questions. And so my approach here is going to be, I have to answer these questions. I'm going to come up with an answer. We'll spend a lot of time with rules explanation, etc., because I got to get through this. I mean, there's 215 questions. Come on now. Usually when I take this, it's like, all right, let's just go. Boom. Quickest answer, immediate response, etc. And sometimes I'll make a comprehension mistake. I thought the question was asking about this. It was really asking about this. And so those are factors. All we have to do is pass, ultimately the test, and it's a pretty low bar at 80%. Jason, no, California does not have its own rules book. California uses National Federation of High School Basketball rules, plus some California exceptions. Those include shot clocks for boys and girls, 35 seconds for boys, 30 seconds for girls, and no 10-second backcourt count for girls, no closely guarded while dribbling for girls. But for boys, it's pretty much NFHS rules with a shot clock, right? So we have to know the shot clock rules, and this is a layer of complexity that many of you will enjoy in the years to come. Shot clock rules. We love the shot clock here in California. Excellent. Yes. Yeah, absolutely, Eric. Absolutely. Why can't I stretch that out? These are almost exclusively going to be, straight one-to-one with National Federation of High School Basketball rules. But if we come across something, I will make sure to emphasize. Stephen Baum, Long Island, 75 refresher exam every year, can't stay on the session. Hey, I understand, baby. I understand, right? Hey, go do your games. Come on back. Maybe I'm still on. No, I gotta hit the road. I'm going to be providing some tourist attractions to a visitor today here in San Francisco. Going to be on the road, enjoying the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. All right, so that's enough of that yammer. Let's get going with our questions. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. Right, and that's where we're going to put them. Jason, I hear you. It's not going to happen this year in every state for sure. There'll probably be some early adopters when it comes to shot clocks. Hold on, I can get rid of that. There'll be some early adopters. I mean, obviously, there's 7 states that already utilize shot clocks. Next year, when shot clocks are allowed, maybe there's a handful, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 states say, "Hey, let's try it out." Right? We're going to do a program, a starter program, testing, varsity only in a certain part of the state or whatever. To see if it's feasible, how hard it is, what the issues are, etc. And then they'll soon find out, well, this isn't complicated at all. Let's go for it. I'm gonna pull this down. Pull that up. We'll see, Ray. We'll see. I mean, there'll be some holdouts. What's going to be funny is there's going to be, right now, there are 7 states that have a shot clock. Maybe in 10 years, there'll be 7 states that do not have a shot clock, and they're holding out. No, the purity of the game. The purity of the game. So we'll see. Hey, Ben. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, but it's one of those things that NFHS is giving license to states. It used to be severe penalties, I think. If you adopt a shot clock, you can't be on any of the boards, any of the committees, or anything. You are, doing things that we don't approve of. Wag, penalty, right? So the first step is like, well, let's just remove the penalties. Let's allow states, if they are motivated to do it, to try it out. Some states will do it, and it's like, well, we thought there was going to be this issue and this issue and this issue. Obviously, cost is an issue, right? Schools have to install equipment, etc. But everybody's so really afraid of training. We're going to have somebody who's trained in shot clock rules. I have had freshman players step in. They're doing the varsity game. They're on the shot clock. Are you a good shot clock operator? Actually, ref, this is my first time. Right? Okay. All the things that can go wrong will go wrong. Sometimes these kids just, they nail it. It's amazing. It is not really a complicated thing if you're focused on the task at hand. Usually when we have trouble, it's because people are focused on the game and not on their role in the game. So if you get a dad on the shot clock, that could be trouble. Okay, let's get on with this show so I can get these questions done pronto. I'm going to pop that up. Right, so this is our format, and I'm going to go here. Just a second. My keyboard issues rearing their heads. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to tuck that there, tuck that there, tuck that there. And now here we are. Camera effects over here, and I can see, and you can see. And here we are. Okay, question number 1. Team B is assessed a technical foul prior to the game. Team A's head coach chooses to replace one of his starters with a substitute A10 to shoot the 2 technical foul free throws. Which of the following is true of A10 after the second free throw has been completed? So A10 is our, let's say the coach has a player on the bench who is potentially injured, right? They are the star player, they are injured, or it's little Johnny at the end of the bench. Coach says, we've got tactical foul free throws. We're not concerned about the result of this game. Johnny, get in there. You shoot these tactical foul free throws. You'll score your first points, etc. Right? So A10 enters the game and attempts the tactical foul free throws, legal by rule. But what happens next? Okay. A10 may remain in the game. B, A10 may be replaced by any substitute, excluding A5 after the free throws. C, A5 may not re-enter the game until the next opportunity to substitute after the clock has been properly started. Or D, all of the above. So our replaced player must sit a tick, cannot return until the clock is properly started. A10 could be replaced by another team member prior to the game being resumed with that division line throw-in opposite the table, or A10 may remain in the game. All of those are legal by rule, so our correct answer for me on this test question is D, all of the above. Let's go. Which of the following are true for the length of each extra period? The length is 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. National Federation of High School Basketball rules 4 minutes is the length of an overtime period. Now, here in California, here at certain leagues, lower level teams play a different period length. One league that I know of, JV boys play, or freshman boys play 7-minute periods. So how long is their overtime? It's half. It's 3.5 minutes. So our question here is a general concept, not necessarily how it's actually going to be applied in all situations. But the correct answer here is C. The length is 4 minutes. If you work with partners, of course, who work collegiate games, you have to be really clear at this point that they don't provide any erroneous information to the table. Question number 3. During an alternating possession throw-in by A1, B2 intentionally kicks the throw-in pass. Okay, so this is a great situation, and it's also a great example of a poorly worded question. I had a peek at this question. These answers are not designed to elicit the best answer. These answers are confusing. During an alternating possession by A1, B2 intentionally kicks the throw-in pass. Okay, alternating possession, kick the pass, right? The ball was not legally touched. Throw-in did not end. We do not switch the arrow. That's the thing we have to know. We do not switch the arrow. The resulting throw-in is for a violation. It is no longer an alternating possession throw-in. Right? How can we test that knowledge? A, the AP arrow should now point towards Team B's basket. No, that is not true. Team A retains the arrow. B, the AP arrow should stay pointed towards Team A's basket. That is a true statement. So I'm going to put that as my default answer. C, the AP arrow should change towards Team B's basket prior to the throw-in and then should be changed towards Team A's when the ball is kicked. Clear as mud. Or D, none of the above. I am going with the AP arrow should stay pointed towards Team A's basket. Café. All right. 212 questions to go. Jason Hayes said subvarsity here in Missouri is 2 minutes. Quarters are 7 minutes, right? So you're gonna have rules exceptions, mechanics exceptions, all across the country, right? But we're talking about National Federation of High School Basketball rules. What is the length of an extra period? 4 minutes, right? That's the answer to the question. How it's applied locally, that is always subject to local rules and restrictions. Which of the following are true of a kickball violation near the end line? Okay, well, all right, kickball violation near the end line. Spot nearest the violation, I know that. A results, okay, what's the penalty for a violation? A designated spot throw in nearest the spot, right? Nearest the spot of the violation, right? That's what we need to know. If we take that with us on the court, now we have three possible rules or four possible options with lots of words, right? Is this going to get us closer to that understanding of designated spot throw in nearest the spot of the violation? Results in a throw-in anywhere along the end line if it occurs on the throw-in that follows a successful try for goal. Okay, all right, I see. I was down the wrong path. Results in a throw-in anywhere along the end line if it occurs on a throw-in that follows a successful try for goal. That is true. That is true. In that situation, so I'm going to put that as a default answer. Results in a designated spot throw-in if it occurs on a throw-in that follows an awarded goal. No. Awarded goal would be basket interference goaltending. C, results in a designated spot throw-in if it occurs on the throw-in that follows a successful try for goal. No. Or all of the above. Designated spot. Right. So after a goal or an awarded goal, what's the difference between A and C? Other than, okay. So our question here is, does the team retain the privilege of running the end line when there is a violation on the resulting throw-in after a goal or an awarded goal, such as in a violation? Long way around to find our answer there, but I'm going with A. Hey, if you think I'm wrong on any of these, just let me know. B5 is called for goaltending on A1's try for goal. Which is true of Team B's subsequent throw-in? It shall be a designated spot throw-in. That is not the case. B, that is not the case. C, it shall be a non-designated spot throw-in along the end line, right? After a goaltending violation, now we are awarding a goal. That's our correct answer. 6, which of these pivot foot movements results in a traveling violation? The pivot foot is established, lifted, and the player shoots the ball. Legal. B, the pivot foot is established, lifted, and the player passes the ball. Legal. C, the pivot foot is established, lifted, and the player begins a dribble. Right? After the pivot foot is lifted, a player may not initiate a dribble. So that would result in a traveling violation. Let's confirm and look at D. The player catches the ball with both feet on the floor, then uses either foot as the pivot foot. So C is our correct answer there. Oh, we're moving. The head coach may make a request to the official timer to alert the officials to determine which of the following may have occurred, right? So we're talking about a special circumstance where the coach goes to the table and requests that the timer alert the officials and stop play. So in what situations may we do that? A correctable error. Let me do one thing here. Let me turn that on for any late viewers. A correctable error, a timing mistake, a scoring mistake, and an alternating possession mistake. Thrown that in. B, technical foul on the opposing coach. C, an intentional or flagrant foul. Or D, both A and B. Okay, so Now, we can't allow opposing coaches to go to the table and say, hey, I think we should have had a technical foul on the opposing coach. And intentional or flagrant is not correct. So we can't have both. So our correct answer is A, correctable error, a timing mistake, a scoring mistake, and an alternating possession mistake. I would certainly hope this occurs before the actual alternating possession throw-in occurs. But by process of elimination, that has got to be our correct answer. How many free throws are awarded for an intentional foul? Right? Very common thing that we reference here on Basketball Rules Expert. The rule is simple. It's straightforward. The answer is it's always 2 free throws to the offended player or their eligible substitute with the lane cleared and the ball to the team at the spot nearest the foul. With one exception, ding, if the intentional foul occurs during a 3-point try that misses, then it is 3 free throws to the offended player or eligible substitute and a throw into that team at the spot nearest the foul. So 1 free throw in all situations is incorrect. No free throws if committed by the team in control is incorrect. C, 1 free throw if never. 2 free throws if committed on a successful 2-point try, and 3 free throws if committed on an unsuccessful 3-point try. Right? So the ball went in on the 2-pointer, we're still going to shoot 2. The ball misses on a 3-pointer, we're going to shoot 3. That's the correct answer there. Question 9. Team A requests a 60-second timeout, which is granted by the official. After 30 seconds have passed, Team A is ready to play, and Team B wants to use the entire timeout. Can the length be shortened? The length of a timeout can always be shortened if both teams are ready to play. If either team wants to utilize the time, that's what we're going to do. So, C, no. Team B can use, no. Team B is entitled to use the entire timeout. Simple answer, simple question. Right? But I guess the understanding. Team requests a timeout. They don't want to use the entire timeout. Is their opponent? Since they were the one that requested it, can they say, no, I want the timeout shortened? If both teams are ready to play, then we can resume play. But if either team wants to utilize the time, they may. Question 10. B11 is ruled for a blocking foul. How should the fouling player's number be reported to the scorer? All right, we're now using 2-hand reporting. 1 finger on each hand is going to be our answer. I'm going to go with that. Use one-handed reporting that flashes the 1 twice. 2, use one-handed report that clearly differentiates. C, either A or C would be correct. Oh. What's the answer to this question? Are we required to use this? Can I do this? I'm going to go with A. Certainly common sense says either A or C would be correct. Any of these situations would be correct as long as we clearly communicate to the table. But NFHS says we're using 2-handed reporting. How to answer this question? So this is a great example of a question that is confusing to me. 11. Hey, Noah, good to see you. Hey, so I don't know if you missed it, but I have to take these, I have to answer these questions. I figure I might as well do it live. So feel free to jump off anytime you want. 11. After Team A scores in the last 10 seconds of the second half and before the ball is at the disposal of Team B for a throw-in, A1 grabs B2 in an effort to have a foul ruled and stop the clock, save time. A1 is whistled for an intentional technical foul, and Team B is awarded 2 free throws. Where will the ball be put in play for a designated spot throw-in? Well, it was a technical foul, and we know the result of all technical fouls. So that's our key on this question. It is no, it's not Team B's choice. B, a division line opposite the table is where we resume after a technical foul. It's not along the end line, and it's not nearest to where the intentional technical foul occurred. Right? So the key here is the ball went through the basket. The ball is dead until the ball becomes live. Contact will either be ignored, but in dead ball situation, ignored, intentional, technical, intentional, flagrant technical. One of those three. All right, I've answered that. Question 12. Team A has just scored a field goal. As the ball is dropping to the floor, A2 bats the ball away. It is the first time any player on Team A has committed that type of action, right? This prevents the ball from being made available to the opponent. This is a team warning for delay. Delay of game warning is assessed to A2. No, team warning. Delay of game warning assessed to Team A. A2 is assessed a technical foul, or Team A is assessed a technical foul. Since it is the first such action, it rises to the level of a team warning for delay. If a subsequent action happened by the same player or a different player on that team, it would be a team technical foul by rule. 13. A1 sets a stationary screen with 1 foot on or outside a boundary line. B1 makes contact with A1 in the torso. So we have a screener who otherwise is legally established in a screening position. Contact is made to the torso, but by rule, a screener cannot be out of bounds. If their foot is out of bounds or even touching the line because the line is out of bounds, they do not have legal screening position and would be liable. So A1 sets a stationary screen. This is a personal foul on A1. This is a team control foul. Oh, fist up, hand behind the head, point. Long live the punch. What? What? Wait a minute. Come on now. Where's my sad trombone? Oh, man, if I lose my sad trombone, that's going to be terrible. Party noise. Triangle. Oh, that is disappointing. Oh, well. Whap, 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 whap. The following results in a traveling violation if a player with the ball lifts the pivot foot and then, right, if they lift their pivot foot and return it to the floor, they lift their pivot foot and start a dribble, those would be violations. A, passes the ball, legal. B, shoots the ball, legal. C, begins a dribble or drops the ball to the floor, right? Beginning a dribble would be a violation. Dropping the ball to the floor would be a fumble, it sounds like. That's implied. Ben, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Mike, do I need to go back on question 10? I don't understand the motivation for that question. I'm not going to spend too much mental energy. A correct answer for 14 is C. Let's look at 15. Which of the following is true in regard to defenders guarding near a boundary line? Okay. Well, something goes off. Defender near a boundary line. We know that screeners have to be on the court to be legal. We know that defenders have to be on the court to be legal. They cannot be out of bounds. Otherwise, well, they can be out of bounds. They could put a foot on the line, but they are not considered to be in legal guarding position if it rises to the level of a foul. So that's what we know going in. Let's take a look. A guard may move laterally, obliquely, and toward an opponent. B, after obtaining legal guarding position, the defender may maintain legal guarding position with 1 foot on the playing court and 1 foot off the floor above the boundary line, right? They are not out of bounds when they do that, so that would be legal. A player who goes out of bounds under normal play must return both feet to the playing court before being able to regain inbound status. What does that have to do with a defender? D, to obtain initial legal guarding position, the defender may have 1 foot on the playing court and 1 foot touching a boundary line. That is not true. Is C our correct answer? A player who goes out of bounds under normal play, as in momentum takes them off the court, must return both feet to the playing court before being able to regain inbound status. That's not a true statement. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like, what's the motivation of this question, right? We need an understanding about legal guarding position, why there are so many words here. This is what I would describe as a fundamental concept about guarding that's trying to be tested in a poorly worded fashion. But I'm going with, this is a true statement. After obtaining legal guarding position, the defender may maintain legal guarding position with 1 foot on the playing court and 1 foot off of the floor above a boundary line. That is a true statement, right? Once a player has maintained legal guarding position 2 feet on the floor facing their opponent, they can maintain and be in a position where only 1 foot is on the floor, 1 foot is off the floor. This player has inbound status, or both feet off the floor can be maintaining legal guarding position if they jump vertically. Ay, ay, ay. That is challenging. After which of these unsuccessful free throw attempts shall the ball remain live? So after an unsuccessful free throw attempt, player releases a try for a free throw, and it is unsuccessful. In which situation would it remain live? The first free throw after a common foul with 11 defensive team fouls would be double bonus, and if we missed the first, the ball would not remain live. The first free throw after a common foul with 8 defensive, so this would be a situation where we are shooting 1-and-1, properly reported to the table with 2 hands and a single digit extended. The second free throw attempt after a flagrant foul. After a flagrant foul, we are going to resume with a throw-in at the spot nearest the foul. The lane is cleared. This would not be live. And the second free throw attempt after an intentional foul. And similarly, that would be the case after an intentional. So our correct answer to the first free throw after a common foul with 8 defensive team fouls. So my middle name is Warren. I think this is a Warren. I think it's a like a bramble or a. So it's like we're wading into a little, like prickly things are catching us as we try to answer this question. Right? Can we see how this kind of question would be challenging to someone who does not process words on the page, right? So it's a challenge when we have to test officials' knowledge so they can pass a test on the court, and we do so by making them pass a written test. But some questions are good and important and fundamental, and other questions are less so. If a substitute illegally enters a game, when does that substitute become a legal player? Oh, that's a simple question, a simple concept. And our answers hopefully will address that. When the player is legally touched by an inbounds player, that is not true. A substitute becomes a player when checking into the scorer's table, that is not true. C, when the ball becomes live. That's our answer. D, player becomes bench personnel upon receiving his or her 5th foul. That is not a true statement. The player becomes bench. Yay. 18. After obtaining initial legal guarding position, the guard may move in which of the below directions when contact occurs? When contact occurs. I would prefer it if it said before contact occurs, but obviously after establishing legal guarding position, defenders are allowed to move laterally, obliquely, or backwards, right? Those are the three movements allowed by defenders. Laterally, obliquely, and backwards are A, B, and C, and D is all of the above. I would prefer if it said which of these directions before contact occurs, because when contact occurs, a player may be moving laterally and create illegal contact. Ay, ay, ay. 19. During a free throw, when the free throw lane spaces may be occupied, the following guidelines are in effect. We know opponents of the thrower have to be in the first two marked lane spaces, and no others have to be filled. But let's take a look. The defense can have as many spots as 5 spots if the offensive team chooses not to use them. No, there's a maximum of 4 for a defensive team. A total of 8 players are allowed. No, it's a maximum of 6. A maximum of 6 may occupy the marked spaces, 4 defensive and 2 offensive. That's true in the as a basic concept, so that's going to be our answer. 7 in marked lane spaces is incorrect. Okay, so our answer is C. Let's move on to 20. A1 is in Team A's front court near the division line when a 3-second violation is ruled on A4. A1 is in the team's front court near the division line. Where is the throw-in administered? We would assume that A1 is in possession of the ball, or there is that the ball is near the division line when a 3-second violation occurs. Where does the resulting throw-in occur when a violation occurs? A fundamental concept. Where is the violation? That's where the throw-in is. Right? Simple. End line nearest the free throw lane line extended to where the violation occurred will be our answer. Not near the division line, not near the division line, not near the sideline where the violation was ruled, because our entire lane area where the 3-second violation occurred is within our magical spaceship. Oh, that was a pretty good spaceship. All right, time out for coffee. One of the real challenges of live streaming is getting the coffee when it's warm. If I dawdle, it gets cold, then it's not as enjoyable. 22. All of the following are ruled as correctable errors, except, failure to award a merited free throw and permitting a wrong player to attempt a free throw. Those are things that fall under correctable errors. B, erroneously awarding the ball to the wrong team for a throw-in and making a field goal in the wrong basket. Well, there's our answer, right? Putting the ball into the opponent's basket is not a correctable error situation. And erroneously awarding the ball to the wrong team for a throw-in is not a correctable error situation. That must be rectified before the throw-in ends. The throw-in ends when the ball is legally touched in bounds or the throwing team violates. Attempting a free throw at the wrong basket and erroneously counting or canceling a score. Or none of the above. Okay. So the none of the above makes me question whether I got it right. By erroneously awarding the ball to the wrong team on a throw-in is not correctable, and making a field goal in the wrong basket is not a correctable error situation. That's just a thing. Good to see you, Mike. Good to see you. I don't know if you've been on the whole thing. I'm just, I have to do these study guide questions from which the California tests are taken. So I'm just running through it live because I can, right? Not the most compelling. I'm trying not to spend too much time talking about each question so I can get through them. I'm only a tenth of the way through. Which of these scenarios result in a violation? All right, so I'm going to read these, and as soon as I find one that is a violation, we'll be good to go. A1 jumps for a try for goal, but realizing it will be blocked, drops the ball to the floor and starts a dribble. They have lifted their pivot foot. They cannot initiate a dribble by rule. Critton, there are 215 questions. I have to complete it. You don't have to stick around. B, A1 dribbles a second time after losing control of the first dribble because an opponent touches the ball. That's legal. A1 jumps for a try, but the ball is knocked out of his or her hands. They retrieve the ball in the air and land and start a new dribble. That's legal. So we're going with A. I'm not going to waste time. We got to move. After A1 ends his or her dribble, which of these people or objects may A1 bounce the ball off of and then go recover the ball and legally begin another dribble, right? So a player who's terminated their dribble cannot dribble again until throw it off of their opponent's backboard. No, their opponent's backboard is considered to be the floor by rule. That's incorrect. A2, that's a teammate. C, an official. An official's location on the floor is to be considered the same as the floor, so that would be illegal, or none of the above. Yes, A2. We can throw it off any player and then resume. You say, well, wait a minute. This is a rules question we had on Basketball Rules Expert episode. You mean I could throw it off of my teammate and then go begin? Yes, you can. Until the ball is touched by any player. Legal. 25. With 36.5 seconds left in the last period, half, there is an inadvertent whistle for a foul that stops the clock. A21 is reported as a substitute prior to the whistle. May they enter the game? Yes. I think one of the things CBOA does is it says, all right, we've got collegiate officials doing high school games, right? They may bring over some rules with them from collegiate. It's why they choose to do that, I don't know, but that's what we're implying here. In NFHS, the ball is dead. Any player can be substituted into the game during any dead ball. Or substitutions can occur during any dead ball would be a more better statement. May not enter the game, may enter this time. Oh. Any substitutes may enter at this time regardless of if they have checked in or not. Let's say A21 may enter the game. Not a great question. Am I missing something here? Whether players have reported to the table or not, the ball is dead. Coaches can send players to the bench or to the table and substitute them into the game. We give this a high confusion rating on this question, but it's an important question to know. 26. A defensive player is allowed to do which of the following to an opponent setting a screen? Okay, I'm the defensive player. A teammate of the ball handler is setting a screen. What am I allowed to do to that screener? Push the screener to get around? No, I cannot displace them. Hold the screener? No. Reroute a screener? No, or none of the above. None of those actions would be legal. There can be incidental contact with a screener. Displacement by rule is not allowed. We can't hold or impede because that screener, of course, may be attempting to roll to the basket, etc. So I'm going to go with none of the above. 27. A1 releases a successful three-point attempt while airborne. Before either foot returns to the floor, A1 crashes into B2, who is legally established a guarding position. Team B is in the bonus. Okay, A1 releases a try for goal, which ultimately goes in the basket. Obviously, when the contact occurs, the ball is still in flight for a three-point try. unless this player is incredibly athletic. So our wording is already suspect. Releases a successful three-point attempt while airborne, right? So A1 releases a three-point try for a goal that ultimately enters the basket. Before they land, they crash into a legally established player. What happens next? Are we going to score the ball if it goes in? No. The A1 has committed a player control foul and the basket is canceled. That is a true story. The contact is ignored. B2 has committed a blocking foul and the basket shall count, awarding free throws. Okay. We got there. Jason, on that previous question, I think that was the question. And I think with collegiate rules, you can have some different restrictions. The thing about the CBOA test is it almost, I think they also do some collegiate testing. That's an option that they have. And so their mindset is, well, let's assume that officials officiate at other level. And so let's sort of like test them with the high school rules, which NFHS is like doesn't bring that in at all, I don't think, with their testing. 28. If a player with the ball swings his or her elbows and makes non-incidental contact with an elbow to an opponent's head, what kind of foul may result, right? First of all, with any contact, what kind of foul may result? Common, intentional, flagrant. Live ball contact, ignore, common, intentional, flagrant. Those are always going to be our options. So if we have the player with the ball swinging their elbows and making non-incidental contact, it means it rises to the level of a foul. We're not going to ignore. Can it be a common, intentional, or flagrant, or all of the above? All of the above is our correct answer. There was some confusion when head contact with an elbow was made a point of emphasis by National Federation of High School. Many local associations and states said, okay, that's automatically an intentional. If there's any elbow contact to a head, it automatically has to be intentional or flagrant, right? Rules clarification, case play clarification that's come out this year clarifies that we can have a common foul in that situation. So all of the above is our correct answer. 29. What is the result if Team A's throw-in lodges between the basket and the backboard? By rule, this is a throw-in violation. We would award the ball to the opponent at the spot of the throw-in. If the thrower throws the ball that's lodged, if the thrower throws the ball that enters the basket, it is a throw-in violation by rule. B would be our correct answer. It's not an AP, and it's not none of the above. Moving. Number 30. A1 is attempting the first of a one-on-one free throw. If simultaneous violations occur during an A1's unsuccessful try, what is the result? If simultaneous violations occur, it doesn't matter whether the try is successful or not. And if in a simultaneous violation, any violation that includes a thrower or the teammate of the thrower, the ball has become dead. So if we have simultaneous violations, the free throw has ended. Now we are in a situation where the first of a one-on-one, the free throw has ended. There is no team control, and it's not obvious who will get team control since it was a simultaneous violation. So at this point, we would go to the arrow. They do not get a replacement free throw for a simultaneous violation. They do not get to shoot the second. Why would we give it to Team B? An alternating possession throw-in results. It may go to Team B depending on the possession arrow. 31. Multiple Team A members on the bench refuse to sit during a live ball. Which of the following is or are true? I can tell you right now, if we're assessing a technical foul, we're not going to assess multiple technical fouls in this situation. That's what we're going in. Let's see what the answers are. A single technical foul is charged. An indirect technical foul is charged to the head coach. A technical foul is charged to each offender. Or D, both A and B. Yes, a single team technical foul, a bench. We'll fix it in post. Single bench technical foul is assessed for the actions of multiple team members, right? An indirect technical foul is also charged to the head coach because the coach is responsible for the behavior of bench personnel. If any behavior by bench personnel results in a technical foul, the head coach bears that responsibility by rule. 32. What edges of the end line and sidelines define the inbounds and out of bounds areas of the boundary line? A super important concept. Obviously, the court is defined by the inside edge. That would be our rule. The lines are planes ceiling to floor. That is a statement. Not a fan. 33. B2 fouls A1 on an unsuccessful try and is replaced. When may B2 enter the game? A player who has been substituted for may not return to the game until the clock has properly started. A, before A1's first free throw or after the second free throw is successful. If the team calls timeout, no. During the first opportunity to substitute after the clock has properly started, right? That's what we need to always remember about substitutes. They may not return until the clock has properly started. It ends all confusion about live ball, dead ball, made, etc. 34. Both A2 and A3 grab a rebound and return to the floor holding the ball. While still holding the ball, A2 takes a step with their right foot. A3 takes a step with their left foot. What is the ruling? Neither of these players has traveled by rule. This would be legal. It is not a held ball situation. They are on the same team. We are not cumulatively counting their steps. No violation has occurred, and either one may pass the ball, dribble, pass, or shoot. 35. In which of these scenarios will an overtime period always occur if A1 is assessed a technical foul after the expiration of time to end regulation? So, okay, all right. So it's a complicated scenario that's compressed here. In which of these scenarios will an overtime period always occur, right? Because sometimes we can have a technical foul after the completion, after time has expired, there's zeros on the clock. When will it always occur if A1 is assessed a technical foul after the expiration of time, right? If the result of the game is in question, it is within 2 points for the opponent, right? Then, right, so let's say we have a 10-point lead and a player is assessed a technical foul. We assess them a technical foul. We leave. The game is over. We have a 2-point lead and we're assessed a technical foul, and the results of the free throws could affect the outcome of the game. We are going to shoot those free throws as part of the fourth period. If we have a tie score and we assess that technical foul, we will resume overtime with that technical foul being administered. So when the score is tied is going to be our correct answer. When Team A is ahead by a point, because we are looking for in which of these scenarios will an overtime period always occur. So when Team A is ahead by a point, we would administer the resulting technical foul free throws, and we may not play overtime, depending on the result of the free throws, would be determining that. So when the score is tied, we are guaranteed going to overtime because we're going to administer the technical foul as part of the overtime period, to begin the overtime period. Okay. So that question got there in the end. Let me turn off that overlay. Need all that space. Wow. A lot of words. Team A's head coach, while within the coaching box, demonstratively waves his or her hands at an official in disgust over a play Team A's coach thought should have been ruled a foul. No prior warnings had been issued. How should the situation be handled? This question addresses the fact of, do we have to assess a warning before we can assess a technical? That's the basis of this question. If the behavior rises to the level of a technical foul, no prior warning has to be given. The warning is a tool in our tool belt that we want to use effectively as basketball officials. We got a lot of words on the answers here, but I'm going to look for the first opportunity to whack the coach. In disgust, major violation, and is a direct technical foul regardless of whether a prior warning has been issued. That is the answer. We're not going to waste time. Moving on. 37, a technical foul on a team's athletic trainer results in an ejection of the head coach. You got to control your trainer, coach. Also results in an indirect technical foul on the head coach. Can never be ruled on the team's athletic trainer. I think we've seen technical fouls on mascots. All right, coach is responsible for bench personnel. If this trainer is part of bench personnel, which is implied, right? If you had a situation, interesting. If you had a situation where the trainer's table is like recessed from the court, like it's 20 feet behind the court, because they have a table and they're taping up players and dealing with players. You see this at the collegiate level a lot. Would that be considered bench personnel, even though they're not on the bench? But yes, they are. Indirect on the head coach for behavior of bench personnel. 38, team control does not exist in which of the following? Team control does not exist in which of the following? Okay, different from player control. When does team control start? When does team control end? Are fundamental concepts we have to know as basketball officials. During an interrupted dribble, we still have team control. While the ball is in flight during a try, we do not have team control. So there's our answer. When the live ball is being passed between teammates, we maintain team control, and it's not all of the above. Simple answer and a fundamental concept we have to know. 39, which is true about action on or by cutters, right? Freedom of movement, cutter, freedom of movement. Bump the cutters is an accepted coaching term that is never a foul. It may be an accepted coaching term, but the action may rise to the level of a foul. Bump the cutters is a coaching term and results in a technical foul. Instructions from the coach about to their players about actions they should take should rarely rise to the level of a technical foul. No player, offensive or defense, can be bumped or displaced off his or her path is a correct statement. So that is our correct answer. If a displacement occurs or the player's freedom of movement is impaired, we would have a foul off the ball here. Number 40, Team A is awarded an alternating possession throw-in after a held ball. A1 holds the ball through the end-line plane during a throw-in. B1 is able to get his or her hands on the ball, and A1 cannot pull it back. That unique situation during a throw-in, extend the ball through the plane. Defensive player is allowed to contact the ball. Defensive player can actually create a held ball situation by holding the ball so tightly that rough play may ensue. So this is a held ball, and they would retain the arrow following the held ball since the throw-in never legally ended. That's a true statement. I'm going to go with that. We're going to move on. 41. After a successful basket by A, Team B may handle the ensuing throw-in in the following legal manner. So this is after a scored goal. What are the restrictions on the throwing team? They can have multiple players out of bounds. They can pass the ball between players out of bounds. They can have all those situations occur. Team A may only have 2 players out of bounds. No, they can have up to 5. Team B must conform to the designated spot throw-ins. No, it's after a made basket. Any Team B player can move along the end line while holding or bouncing the ball. That is true. Team B may bounce the ball off the back wall directly to a teammate inbounds if done within 5 seconds. No. Our correct answer is C. Easy peasy. 42. All of the following are situations when the ball is at the disposal of the thrower in or free thrower except. At the disposal is our key concept here. When is the ball at the disposal of the thrower? If it is handed to the thrower on a free thrower, it would be at the disposal. It is released by the administering official when bouncing the ball to the thrower or the throw-in. No, it's not. So our question is except. So that's going to be our answer. While the ball is in flight to a player attempting a throw-in or a free throw, it is not at their disposal until they have caught the ball. If it bounced off their shin, great pass, ref. Yeah, right on. In which of these scenarios does the ball become dead immediately when a foul occurs? Airborne shooter, maybe? A1 has started to try for goal, but B2 fouls A2 before the ball is in flight. This sounds like Rule 411, continuous motion. Let's go to our 411 continuous motion expert, Jason Hayes. Continuous motion would apply in this situation. The ball would not be dead. A1 releases the ball on a try before landing, charges into B2, and is ruled for a foul, and then the ball enters the basket. What do we know about an airborne shooter? Right? The ball is live. If they create illegal contact, the ball becomes dead immediately. That's going to be our answer. B. B25 checks into the game. Jason is working on a presentation on continuous motion. All right, B25 checks into the game, and the officials notice he has rolled the waistband on his shorts. This is a criminal offense, and that player must be removed from the... No, that was a few years ago. The waistband features multiple manufacturers' logos, but otherwise conforms to all restrictions regarding a legal uniform. So rolled waistbands are legal. The exhibition of multiple logos on a single piece of apparel are not. So we have a situation where the rolled logos are, the rolled waistline is exposing. So we either need to unroll or roll one more time so that we do not have multiple logos visible. A, they are not always illegal. Multiple logos are illegal, and they must unroll the waistband or roll it again to hide the logos. That is a true statement. 45. When a player touches the ball or any part of the basket, including the net, while the ball is on or within either basket, it is what type of violation? Basket interference to contact the ball or any part of the basket, including the net, any part of the basket, while the ball is on or within, right? That is our correct answer. 46. While the free thrower is still holding the ball, A1's free throw ends immediately, right? So a free thrower bouncing the ball, holding it, getting ready to shoot. When does the free throw end immediately? It ends immediately when a violation occurs by that thrower or their teammate. If it's a defensive violation, no. But if their thrower violates or a teammate violates, the throw-in ends immediately. Our answer is B. Oh, okay. So we've got, all right, threw me for a twist. All three are correct because multiple are correct. So we're going with all of the above. 47. These guarding contact principles dictate the legality of the various situations. A lot of words, need some coffee. Gotta have coffee. Gotta have coffee. Now, is this an easily understood phrase? These guarding contact principles dictate the legality of the various situations. Not a fan. But let's see what the statements are. A player must maintain a set position. All right. So obviously we're not going to engage that. After obtaining an initial legal position, the guard must continue to face the opponent to maintain legal position. Well, that sounds reasonable. Extending an arm, shoulder, hip, or leg in the path of an opponent is not considered legal if contact occurs. That's a true statement. Both feet must always remain on the floor in order to take a charge after obtaining a legal guarding position. So, our correct answer here is extending an arm, shoulder, hip, or leg in the path of an opponent is not considered legal if the... It is illegal to extend an arm, shoulder, hip, or leg into the path of an opponent. Why don't we go with that? 48. A1 throws a lob pass from behind the three-point line towards A2, who is near the basket. The pass is overthrown and goes into the basket. All right, lob pass, let's say to a dunker, from beyond the three-point line towards A2, the pass is overthrown and it goes in the basket. What is the result? How many points are scored? It was obviously a pass to the teammate. Since it was a pass and not a try, then that's our question here. 2 points for Team A, 3 points for Team A. The basket is disallowed. Right, this is a three-point goal by rule. Any ball that is thrown into your own basket from beyond the three-point arc, National Federation of High School Basketball rules, shall be ruled a three-point goal, even if it was obviously not a try for goal. That is our understanding there. Number 49, which of the following is or are true? If B2, who is in a marked free throw lane space, disconcerts the thrower, right? Disconcertion by an opponent will always result in a replacement free throw if the throw is missed. A substitute free throw is awarded if the free throw is made. No. A substitute free throw is awarded if it is missed. Yes. Substitute free throw is awarded if the thrower violates following the disconcertion. That is also true, so our correct answer is D. Both of those conditions are true. And our first 50 concludes with the fourth quarter ends with Team A ahead, 63-60. 3-point lead. Before the officials leave the playing floor, A1 gets in the face of one of the officials and curses. The official assesses a technical foul, could be an intentional technical or a flagrant technical, on A1, right? And that is the proper ruling. Because of this occurring, what's going to happen next? Remember, a 3-point lead. Would the result of the free throws affect the outcome of the game? Right? Because the 2 free throws awarded for the technical foul will not affect the outcome of the game, they are not administered, and Team A wins 63-60. That is going to be our correct answer. Just because we never shoot free throws, National Federation of High School, when the result of the free throws will not affect the outcome of the game. This is after time has expired. Question C is not even worth considering. And we have completed 50 questions of 215. Onward and upward. 51. While A1 has the ball in the front court near the division line, B4 and A4 push each other and are ruled for a double foul. So A1 has the ball in the front court near the division line. The double personal foul occurs someplace else. Okay, all right. In both situations, the fouling... In both situations... Hey, Al, good to see you. Anytime somebody joins, I got to put up this little disclaimer here. So let's see what they're trying to get to with our answers here. In both situations, the fouling there's only one situation. Why does it say both situations? The fouling players are charged with personal fouls, but no team fouls are charged. What the heck? Come on now. B, Team B is awarded a non-designated spot. Throw in at the boundary nearest the double, or it's not nearest the spot of the foul. It's obviously where the ball was when the foul occurred. There is no AP throw-in. D, there are no free throws for either team awarded Team A the ball at the point of interruption. That's obviously our answer on the play. NFHS is only 50 questions? Oh, that's sweet. But onward we go. Where is the throw-in location that follows the free throws after a single flagrant technical foul? Where does the ball, what is the penalty for a flagrant technical foul? What's the penalty for a technical foul? 2 free throws, any player eligible substitute, ball for the team at the division line opposite the table, at the division line opposite the scorer's table. That's going to be our answer for any technical foul, whether flagrant, intentional, any technical foul. 53. Which of the following is or are true in regard to establishing a legal screening position? Different from legal guarding position. The screener may face any direction. Is that a true statement? Yes. Yes, it is. Time and distance are not relevant. That may be a factor. The width of the screener's stance is not relevant, or all of the above. The screener may face any direction. Time and distance are not relevant, cannot be considered a true statement, because if we are screening a moving opponent, they are distant. The width of the screener's stance is not relevant. It may be relevant, so it cannot be none of the or all of the above. We're going with A. Oh, Mike, saved the day. Thank you. Thank you. I'm working with a really limited screen size here so that it comes up on the screen. When does a free throw start? Oh, great question. Fundamental concept we need to know. This is one of the 3 restarts in the game. We need to know when they start, when they end. When does a free throw start? When does the throw-in end? It's going to always start when the ball is at the disposal of the thrower. Those things can be different depending on different circumstances in the game, but this answer is always when it is at the disposal of the thrower, and that is our answer C, a fundamental concept we just have to take with us. And we know that, then all of the other answers that, scenarios that can come up. This is a fundamental concept, an important one that we want to know. Which of the following is true of fighting, right? Somebody's accused or assessed, is judged to be fighting. We know what things. It can only occur when the ball is live. No, that's obviously not true. It can only occur when the ball is dead. No, that is not true. It results in a flagrant foul. That's a true statement. Only players can be assessed involved in fighting. That is not a true statement. So C is our correct answer. All right, I'm gonna have to start hiding the chat because Al's giving me the answers, right? Not fair. You got to make me work here. During a jump ball, A1 and B1 each tap the ball twice, and then B1 catches the ball before it touches the floor or another player. Doesn't mention whether it touched an official or the backboard. Other options on this play, but obviously this is a violation by the jumper. Violation on B1. Oh, so we're going to talk about when we set the possession arrow in this circumstance. Looks like C is our correct answer. Violation on B1. Set the possession arrow to Team A after the throw. No, that's not correct. Violation on B1, set the possession arrow to team. It's a violation. So it's a team A throw in. We're going to set the possession arrow to team B after the throw in or after the ball is at the disposal. Ay. Messy. No, go for it, Al. Go for it. I'm just kidding you. Hopefully, I have the answers on my own. But you're a little quicker than me because I'm yammering on about each question. All right, 57. Team A is issued a technical foul for an excessive timeout. Team technical for an excessive timeout. How is play resumed? How is play resumed for a team technical? Come on, man. That's not so hard. Oh, I see. So the question is, are we granting the timeout, right? So they have 0 timeouts. Coach, you have 0. Play continues. A player on the coach or on the court, let's say, says, ref, timeout, right? By rule, we have to grant the timeout. We grant the timeout. Team technical ensues. Is the team allowed to use the time for the timeout? Yes, they are. In this situation, I would say default to a 60-second timeout. They've earned it. They're paying for the price with 2 free throws. So they are granted the timeout. They are awarded a timeout and assessed a technical foul for the excessive timeout. They do shoot 2 free throws, and the play is resumed with a throw-in. So the answer is D, both B and C. All right. Cool biz. All right, let me see something here. I'm really enjoying my freedom here. Huh. Okay. All right. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. Morning. All right. Jason, yes it is. No, it's not 200. It's 215. Oh, okay. I'm going to knock down this so we can focus a little bit on the screen. Okay. Right. Put that up there. Okay. Team A, we did that one. All right, 58. After Team A had previously been given a warning for delay for breaking the free throw-in plane. Plane violation has delay of game violation. Delay of game warning had been previously issued. A1 reaches through the boundary on a Team B throw-in during the second half. What is the result? Team technical foul by rule. Not player, not administrative. It's another instance, player/substitute technical foul. That's language from NCAA women's. Again, the CBOA tends to do that, try to create distinctions between collegiate and high school rules. How many visible manufacturers' logos are allowed to be worn on jerseys and undershirts with any piece of apparel? It's always one. One on each. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a comprehension issue, right? How many may be worn on jerseys? One. And on undershirts? None. None on the undershirt, but one on the jersey. Am I remembering that correct? Ay. A1 is disqualified after receiving a second direct technical foul. Players don't receive direct technical fouls. They receive player technical fouls. But we're communicating an idea here. That's fine. A1 is disqualified after receiving a second technical foul. Where should A1 be sent for the remainder of the game? Disqualified players are, by rule, sent to the bench. We cannot, well, under normal circumstances, yes. Our correct answer is to the bench. We could talk about all the various vagaries of an issue with an upset player. The bench is not a jail, but by rule, the player is disqualified. They are sent to the bench. 61. A1 is making a throw-in along the sideline in Team A's backcourt. A1 makes the throw into A2, who is standing in Team A's front court. B2 tips the pass, and immediately off the throw-in, A2 jumps from... All right, so we have the situation where we have a throw-in, player's in the front court, throw-in is released, defender tips the ball, player jumps from the front court, lands in the back court. I think that's what we have here. What is the result? Obviously, we know that the throw-in ends on the touch. Therefore, the exception that allows a player during a throw-in, jump from the front court, land in the back court, has now been eliminated. There is no exception. This would be a backcourt violation by rule. But I'm really assuming a lot of things without reading all the words. Yeah, D is our correct answer. Which of the following is or are true while A1 is holding the ball out of bounds for a throw-in? A1 is in player control. Team A has 5 seconds for a throw-in to touch an inbounds player. That's not true. The ball is live. Team A is in team control, and A1 has 5 seconds to release the ball. That is a true statement. The ball is live. They are in team control for the administration of fouls, and A1 has 5 seconds to release the throw-in pass. That is our correct answer. 63. Which of these acts cause a designated spot throw-in? After a basket by A1, A1 kicks Team B's attempted throw-in pass. Would that negate the ability to run the end line? No. B, A1 scores a basket and Team A immediately requests a timeout. Does that eliminate? No. Basket interference by A3 while A2's try is on the ring. So we have a basket interference violation by the team that attempted the try. This would award the ball to the opponent for a designated spot throw-in. Goaltending on an opponent's shot would result in an end-line throw-in with the ability to move. So C is our correct answer. 64. When is a screener allowed to be moving even though contact may result with the opponent being screened? We know there's a situation where a screener may be moving There we go. After initially setting the screen, the screener moves in the same direction and path as the opponent and then slows down. Too many words. I'm gonna phone a friend. The whole screener's moving while in motion, and the opponent is moving, like in a backcourt scenario. I'm going to go with C. Let me know if I have that wrong. Too many words. 65. When there is a correctable error for awarding of an unmerited free throw, which activity during that unmerited free throw is canceled? Right? So if we have an unmerited free throw, what activity? If there's a foul during that activity, a common foul, we ignore that. But if we have a technical, intentional, or flagrant, we do not ignore. So common foul would be our answer. Technical, intentional, and flagrant would not. Easy peasy. We like answers, questions, and answers with very few words. Which of the following results in a traveling violation? A1, in an attempt to end his or her dribble, muffs the ball. Right? NFHS a few years ago says don't use muffs. You have to say fumbled. It's critical to use the proper language. But they lose control of the ball, taking 2 steps before he or she is able to control the ball. Is that traveling? B, A1 is holding the ball with one knee on the floor and begins dribbling and stands. Is that traveling? Nope. A1 holding the ball with one knee on the floor stands without moving the pivot. And a player who attempts to get up by rule has traveled in this situation. 67. No timeout is charged in which of the following? A bleeding player is able to resolve a blood situation during a 20-second time period. This sounds like a collegiate rule. That does not apply to high school. When timeout is specifically requested to rectify a correctable error and that error is rectified, there is no timeout charged. That is a true statement. When a timeout... Right. So when timeouts are specifically requested to correct an error and the error is corrected, there is no timeout. If there's a timeout requested to fix an error and the error is not fixed because either the correctable error time frame had passed or some other criteria, then the timeout is assessed. So our correct answer is B. 68. During a dunk attempt by A1, the net flips the ball out of the basket while the ball is completely below the ring but not having passed through the net. Is this a successful field goal? We know that the ball, a try is considered to be a successful goal when the ball passes through the basket or remains in the basket. Sometimes the ball is just a little too big and the net's a little too tight and the ball sits in the net. That is a goal by rule. But in this instance, the ball did neither of those things. It neither stayed in or passed through. This would not be a legal goal. So no, in order to be a successful field goal, the ball must remain in or pass completely through the basket, which includes the net. That is our correct answer. 69. After a successful try by Team A, when is the ball considered to be at Team B's disposal? This is a really important distinction. We know during a designated spot throw-in or an administered throw-in when the throw-in starts, but when the ball is passed through the basket and the team, it's not an administered throw-in, when does the throw-in start? Well, this sounds pretty solid. After it is available to Team B player and the official starts the 5-second count. Yeah, that's the correct answer. Not after they have picked up the ball, not after it's bounced on the floor, not after it clears the net. The key distinction here is the ball is available to the thrower and the official begins their count. That's when the throw-in begins by rule. Number 70. Team B's coach is standing and giving instructions to his or her players out of bounds in front of the edge of the scorer's table and is 2 steps beyond the 28-foot mark towards the division line. Is this allowed? Oh, that's flagrant, coach. You are gone. No, that's not true. That's not true. There's a 28-foot coaching box. Coach is required to remain in the coaching box. Not allowed to be outside of the 14-foot coaching box. That is some old school stuff. Old school. Not allowed to be outside the 28-foot coaching box. Issue an administrative warning for the first offense and a direct technical foul for a second offense. That would be our correct assessment on this play. Obviously, we always have a ladder available to us, a subtle warning, an administrative warning, or a technical foul. In this instance, that's our best choice. 71. The home team photographer is standing 5 feet from the end line along the wall within the free throw lane lines extended. Is this allowed? Point of NFHS does not allow non-playing personnel to be within the lane area extended for the safety both of that individual and the players on the court. Obviously, there has to be at some point, that restriction would no longer apply if we have a situation where, there's 80 feet of room, etc. But in most circumstances, no, this would not be allowed. There is no penalty. There's no team technical. No, there's no administrative technical. There's no penalty. 72. Which of the following is not a kicking violation? Of course, it's a kicking violation to play the ball intentionally with the foot or leg. A once pass is unintentionally hits, intentionally defects with his or her thigh, that's part of the leg. His or her... Oh. Is not a violation. Unintentionally contacting the ball is not a violation. Each of these subsequent 3 intentional acts is a violation by rule. 73. How many horns should a timer sound during the replacement process for a disqualified player? Well, I know what the minimum is. 2. 1 horn should be sounded as soon as the ruling official has informed the head coach and the scorer's table about the disqualification, and a second horn should be sounded to indicate the 15 seconds allowed for a replacement interval. Obviously, if the interval had not elapsed and subsequently a player has brought in, we would not need that second horn. We don't have to have that second horn. Come on now. But that is the best answer available. I want a participation award. Yeah. 74. At the end of the halftime intermission, Team A has yet to inform the scorer of its starters for the second half. What is the result? The result would be that the original 5 from the preceding quarter would be our starters in the third period. It is not a technical foul. It is not administrative. And our correct answer is C. 75. Which are true of a passed ball? Can goaltending occur when a ball is passed from one teammate to the other? No. Goaltending requires a try. Basket interference can occur on a pass, and it can occur on a throw-in. That is true. A throw-in pass or a pass between teammates, if it's contacted above the ring, would be basket interference. That's going to be our best selection here. 76, 2 minutes into an overtime period, the scorer notifies the official that a scoring error has been made in the second half. Team A was not correctly awarded a point and should have won the game in regulation with no overtime period being necessary. What shall the officials do? This is an absolutely fundamental concept. We have to understand that once overtime has begun, overtime will be played. So in this instance, we would correct a scorekeeping error, which can be done at any point during the game, correct the scorekeeping error, adjust the score, and continue playing the overtime. So our correct answer would be resume play in overtime with the time on the game clock unchanged and the point added. We're just going to keep going, fix the score, and move on. 77. While A1 is dribbling near the 28-foot mark outside the three-point line, B3 is guilty of holding foul for impeding the movement of a cutting A3 near the free throw line opposite to where A1 is dribbling. Where is the ensuing throw-in for a foul? That is fundamentally our question here. The ball's out here, the foul's over here. Where's the resulting throw-in? It's nearest the spot of the foul. So now we have to determine where was A3? Near the free throw lane line, opposite. Yeah, so it's nearest the end line. Jeez, oh Louise. It's nearest the spot of the foul. We know. 78. The first marked free throw lane space may be occupied. It must be occupied by the opponents of the thrower. C is our correct answer. 79. The throw-in that follows the free throws for a single flagrant personal foul shall be. The throw-in, what's the penalty for a flagrant foul? 2 free throws for the offended player or their eligible substitute, and the ball for the team at the spot of the foul. That would be our correct answer. 80. If an official erroneously cancels a goal in the first period, when is the last available time in which the error can be corrected? Okay, if an official erroneously cancels a goal in the first period, when is the last available time in which the error can be corrected? Erroneously canceling a goal must be corrected within the correctable error time frame. Are we assuming here the official erroneously cancels a goal at the end of the first period? Oh, there it is. I couldn't see it. Within the correctable error time frame. Oh my gosh. A3 is standing with 1 foot on the free throw lane line and the other outside of the 3-second restricted area while the ball is in Team A's control in the front court. A3 lifts the foot that is on the free throw lane line and moves it beyond the plane of that line. However, the foot is again placed back. Okay, so we've got the player, 2 feet. One is on the lane line. I can't control my fingers. They lift and return and don't place it outside. Lifting the pivot foot from the restricted space is an attempt to evade the rule. It is a violation. It's really critical you put a call on this play. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is the most important thing you can do on the basketball court. That may be sarcasm. With Team A leading by 6 points, which of the following is or are true when B1 is fouled on a successful try so near the expiration of time in the fourth quarter that the timer is unable to stop the clock after the foul and the ball is in the air before time expires. Oh, well, we have to have time on the clock. A1's goal is awarded. No free throw is shot. B1 is awarded 2 free throws. B1 is awarded 1 free throw, or the goal is canceled. Team A, leading by 6 points. Which of the following is or are true when B1 is fouled on a successful try? Okay, so we have a shot at the buzzer. B1 is fouled. The timer is not successfully able to stop the clock in this situation. Does the player attempt their free throw that they are awarded by rule? Need some coffee. So our question is whether to award a free throw in this situation that will not affect the outcome of the game. And that's going to be our answer. Let me know if you have something different on that play. Yeah. I don't know if I read the question right or wrong. I don't even know. 83. And that's usually how I'll approach these things. It's like, if we get a few wrong, it's not the end of the world. But that's my thinking there. 83. Technical fouls include all but which of the fouling? Okay. A non-contact foul by a player when the ball is live. A non-contact foul would be a technical foul. B. A foul by a non-player would be a technical foul. C. A contact foul when the ball is live can never be a technical foul. That's going to be our correct answer. A contact foul when the ball is dead, except a foul, doesn't even matter. 83, our correct answer is a contact foul while the ball is live cannot be a technical foul by rule, right? Even if it's unsporting action, right? Intentionally pushing a player down, elbowing a player in the gut, hitting a kid airborne in the midsection in a very sensitive spot. These are contact fouls by rule, cannot be a technical foul. 84. A1 is disqualified for receiving a 5th personal foul. Later in the game, A1 re-enters the game as a substitute. This player was already disqualified. They go to the bench. They come back in the game. The officials recognize it at the first dead ball after A1 has re-entered the game. What is the penalty for a player participating after they have been disqualified? Be our question here. Direct technical foul charged to Team A's head coach is our correct penalty on this play. The coach has the responsibility for that disqualified player returning by rule. Different at other levels. 85. Which is true of a tap? It starts when the ball touches the player's hand. That is a true statement. It occurs when a player directs the ball towards his or her basket. It ends when the ball is no longer touching the player's hand, or none of the above. It does start when the ball touches the player's hand. That's what I'm going with. Let me know if you have something different. 86. Team A receives a technical foul after time runs out in regulation with Team B trailing by 2 points. Team B makes both the technical foul free throws. How is the extra period begun? Since it was a 2-point game when the technical foul occurs, the team will attempt the free throws that result, and if, in this instance, both are successful, the game will go to overtime. If one of those free throws had missed, we would end the game at that point. Since the game goes to overtime, how do we begin an overtime period in this situation? With a jump ball. Gajump. 87. A1's legal throw-in is bouncing untouched in Team A's backcourt. An official improperly whistles a timeout for Team B. Is that timeout request granted? So A1 has a legal throw-in. It is bouncing in the backcourt. Team B coach requests a timeout in that situation. The official says, Timeout, Team B, right? We have erroneously granted a timeout, but we have granted a timeout. That would be our correct answer on this unusual play scenario. 88. The officials are notified that B5 has fouled out. The ruling official notifies the coach and then instructs the timer to sound the warning horn. When the second warning horn sounds, the coach has which option? Their options end when the second warning horn sounds. They have time to replace the player. They have an interval defined by rule. If they fail to replace the player within that interval, the penalty would be a direct technical foul on the head coach. So our options at this point, when the second horn is sounded, the coach has exceeded the allotted time to have a replacement player put in without penalty. To resume play, a technical foul is assessed, and B5 replacement shall enter the game prior to the technical foul free throws by Team A. That is the ruling by rule. 89. Which is true if A1 commits an intentional foul against B1 during B1's successful try for goal? This is the penalty for an intentional foul on a successful goal, right? We know what the penalty for an intentional foul. It's always 2 free throws, and for the offended player or their eligible substitute, the ball at the spot nearest the foul for that team. Intentional foul. Except intentional foul during a missed 3-point try, then it's 3 free throws, and all of the same things occur. So officials sometimes get confused in an intentional foul situation. The ball goes in, player goes in for a layup, defensive player shoves them from behind, the ball goes in the basket. We rule intentional foul. What is the penalty? Score the goal, 2 free throws. Always intentional foul, 2 free throws. Flagrant foul, 2 free throws. Except a missed 3-pointer, we award 3. So don't be dissuaded by the ball going in the basket. We will not award 1. B1 shall be awarded 2 free throws. It's the offended player on an intentional foul. Ugh. Number 90. When should an official use a visible count? When they're practicing in the mirror. No. 3-second count is not a visible count. Free throw count is a subtle visible count. A 30-second timeout, don't do that. Or all of the above. Now, a free throw count is when we have a visible count. It's usually pretty discreet and subtle. If you've got Giannis Antetokounmpo on the line, you better be accurate, baby. While A1 is holding the ball inbounds, B2 reaches to slap the ball away but misses the ball and slaps A1's hand while it is in contact with the basketball. What is the result? Is the hand part of the ball? Yeah, that's a legal play. No foul. Right. The hand, of course, right. What's the hand? If we get to the wrist, then we have illegal contact. If it's obviously like hits the fingers, when the player's got the ball like this, the defender, contacts the fingers here, right? That hand is part of the ball by rule. 92. Which of the following is true of pregame dunking? As an official, pregame dunking, bench personnel during intermissions. I know it's bench personnel. What's the penalty for a technical foul on bench personnel? When the ball is dead, including during warm-ups, no, that's not true. Sound a whistle punt. No, that's not true. Both. Okay. All right. That's our best answer here. Messy. 93. When screening a stationary opponent within his or her visual field, the screen may be set where? Anywhere short of contact. This is a stationary opponent. Right? Key being within the visual field, right? If we have a stationary opponent, we're not allowed to set a screen immediately behind them. Yes, dear. Time to wrap it up. I'm not even to 100.
Too bad. You're gonna fail the test.
All right, we're going to 100, and then we're done. All right, 94. Following a jump ball between A1 and B1, the ball is temporarily possessed by A2 before being tied up by B2, right? So our jump ball ended with a player possessing the ball, and then we subsequently have a held ball. How are we going to resume? The ball is awarded to team... So our possession arrow was set when the player controlled the basketball. Then we have a held ball. We're going to go to the arrow to resume. Since A2 possessed, Team B will be awarded the ball for an alternating possession throw-in. 95. When does a disqualified player become bench personnel? Critical to know. Coach, that player has 5. At that instant, that player has become disqualified when the official notifies the coach that the player has been disqualified. Whoa. A25 is ruled for a player control foul. How should the fouling player's number be reported to the scorer? Right hand 2, left hand 5. Ay, ay, ay. Again, we get to this question. This is the correct mechanic by rule. Obviously, if either can be used. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. Hold on. Thanks, Ben. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I just moved the screen. I apologize. So what they're looking for here on this question, the correct mechanic is two-hand reporting. Obviously, communication with the table, communicating the information is most important. Whether we are allowed to use one hand, a player, an official may have a hand that doesn't function as well or what have you. I don't know what we're looking for, but that's the correct answer by what the mechanics book says. Team A is awarded a designated spot throw-in along the end line. A1 extends his or her arms over the end line such that part of the forearms, hands, and ball are entirely on the inbound side of the boundary. B2 slaps A1 on the wrist and dislodges the ball. So a thrower extends the ball through the plane, legal by rule. The defender can contact the ball legally in that instance, but not the thrower. It's always a foul, an intentional foul by rule, to contact the thrower. That would be our ruling here. Yeah, let's stop play immediately and ask A1 to back up. And don't do that again. No, that's not the right answer. Intentional foul, A1 is awarded 2 free throws, and Team A will make the ensuing throw-in. Where? For an intentional foul? At the spot of the throw-in. And if it was an end-line throw-in, non-designated spot throw-in, in this instance, the resulting throw-in, since it is the throw-in after an intentional foul, is a designated spot throw-in. That's a little bonus thrown in on question 97. Let's take a look. We're wrapping it up. I'm only going to go to 100. This is fatiguing. Why do I not take this study? 98. A1 has been awarded 2 free throws. During the first attempt, B2 backs out of a marked lane space just before the release. However, after releasing the ball and before it hits the ring, A1 steps... Oh, okay. So we have a simultaneous violation. Opponent of the thrower violates. A1, the thrower violates. This is a simultaneous violation by rule unless the officials recognize distraction based on the action of the opponent of the thrower who violated. Double free throw violation, or simultaneous, as the rules book says. The first free throw is voided or canceled, and play is continued with A1's second free throw. That's our correct answer. Number 99. All are true to start a dribble except the ball may be pushed to the floor. That is true. A player can start a dribble that way. The ball must be released before the dribbler lifts his or her pivot foot. That is a true statement. The pivot foot may be lifted but not returned to the playing court before the ball is released. That's a true statement. The pivot foot may be lifted but not returned to the playing court before the ball is released. Oh, that's not a true statement. I got it. Comprehension, reading comprehension, right? And again, it's like I do not consider myself to be one that struggles with rules-based, text-based questions, but it's certainly possible for some officials that is an issue. That is just their brain doesn't work as well with rules with text-based questions. Okay. Wait a minute. Since we're running out of time, we have reached our final question of the live stream. Yeah. Question 100. Which is true of coaching boxes? Old school 14 foot, maximum of 28 foot. Sounds good. They are only allowed for sub-varsity games or none of the above. They are a maximum of 28 feet in length. They are by rule 28 feet in length. They cannot be bigger. That is a true statement. So we're going to go with that as our best possible answer. All right. Okay. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to go to there. Not to overlays. I want to go to not to sound. Well, I'll tell you, Mike, so it would go a little quicker if I didn't have to read each question. But it does take some time. And this is just the study guide questions. I have one association that requires it. Ultimately, the test questions are 100, and they're going to be pulled from this. So that is what it is. I'm not sweating it. But let me go here. My screen's a little screwed up today. Faking it. There we go. Something like that. And I can go. I know how to control this. There we go. All right. Well, all I could say is thanks for joining us today as I meander through questions. I figured why not turn on the camera, do the live stream. This may be valuable for other officials who have to complete the study guide here in California. So make that available to our local associations. If you joined us today, I celebrate your commitment. And I had fun doing it. And I will hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Sunday and have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.